Parenting, helpful hacks, things that I have had gains and wins with my parenting that hopefully you can have wins and gains. Part I'm not sure at this point. We're going to talk about when your kid has a behavior that isn't being helpful to them or you, coping mechanism, response, reaction, whatever it is. It's a behavior, it's a thing, it's a feeling that's coming up that doesn't help them and it needs to be adjusted, right? Like an example of this would be habitual anger, right? Like where most days there's something that causes them to be very angry, right? Or this could be hitting a sibling. It could be any, you fill in the blank, but you get what I'm talking about? Okay. So you sit down with that kid, right? This doesn't necessarily work super well with like my 3-year-old, but it does work great with my 7, 5, and 10-year-old. The conversations and the depth of them are vastly different, but we sit down and we say, hey, this is happening. You don't like this when it happens to you. You don't like feeling that way. What do you think you need in that moment? When you were feeling that way, what do you feel like you needed? What do you think would have helped? We have a conversation and we talk about the things that we can do to help them before that moment happens, to have it happen less, and then things we can do when we're in that moment. And then we create a plan, a thought process of, okay, we're going to try to do more when we feel that way. We're going to have a code word that helps them know to go take a deep breath, right? Or for me to remind them, hey, maybe go to my closet and just take a quiet second, right? Or when they're in that moment, they can have a nonverbal, right? Maybe they wouldn't hear me saying, hey, you're being really unkind right now, but they might hear me handing them a cold pack, right? An ice pack of some kind. That gives them a signal without being told that their actions aren't necessarily being kind. It depends on the kid what is beneficial to them, and they can be part of the process. The important part is they're a part of the process of this conversation because they get to communicate. They feel like they have control. They feel like they have a say. And the process of having that conversation helps them reflect on their actions, what it is, what the cause is, and it helps them have an internal dialogue. Sometimes we have that conversation and then my kid comes back and says, you know what? I actually think it's this. I spent the last 2 days really thinking about it. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful for you. It's been very helpful for me and my kids.